Right, we're making lavender oil. We've grown these on the front garden. A few critters in there, but we're removing all the seeds, and as you can see they're already collecting in the bottom of the tub, and these are what we've pulled off the ears.
Some we prepared earlier, and the leftover stems from the ones we've already sort of processed and pulled all the bits off.
To make our still, we're going to be using a pressure cooker of the type that fits on a gas ring, and the pressure cooker valve, which you can see will be joined with a piece of hose. This is just a bit of hose we found in the shed. So it fits quite snugly on the valve, and then this will be sealed with a Jubilee clip, and it will be joined to 10mm copper pipe. We need to take our 10mm copper pipe, and we need to form it around something large enough to avoid creasing the pipe. So we're choosing a propane bottle, and we should just gently ease, sort of roll the pipe around the propane bottle, pressing down on the propane bottle. So be very careful not to crease or kink the pipe. I'll leave a fair bit on the end, because obviously we'll have to have a connection for the pressure cooker. So just make sure it's nice and tight. A little bit of a kink there, but now this will be our cooling pipe. Not a great job, but I'm sure with a little bit of patience you can make a better job than I have. This is the setup we've made. As you can see, we've connected the copper tube into the top of the pressure cooker, and we've formed a coil that sits nicely in a washing up bowl, which we'll put some cold water in. And then the take-off point again we've bent round at the end, and this will decant into whatever vessel we collect the lavender oil. The idea is that the heat produces the steam, and that the volatile oil will condense in the cooled copper tube and then percolate out into the vessel. Into the pressure cooker goes the lavender heads that we've collected. You really can fill the pressure cooker up. Just make sure there are no stems that are going to affect the seal of the pressure cooker. So I'll just remove any stems that protruded. And we'll add water. We'll use hot water out of the tap. You're going to get a few critters in there, but I wouldn't worry about those. And maybe a little more water. We don't overfill it because we want steam, not water. So we're down well below the lid. And make sure that the pressure cooker is nice and solid. As you can see, we have a very primitive setup. There's the washing bowl filled with cold water, and there's the pressure cooker where we need to light the gas. The object is to bring it to the boil and then put it on a simmer. So you need very little heat. Obviously if you have it too hot, you'll get water through the pipe rather than vapour. Gently bring it back up to the heat, to the boil, on a low gas, making sure that we don't burn, because if we burn it, it'll taint. So the object is not to get it too hot. As soon as we see steam coming out of here, we'll close the valve with a little bit of blue tack, and we should see the distillate percolating down into the demijohn. Okay, so we've had to improvise. We still had a leaky valve, so we've put blue tack on the valve with some tape around. Not brilliant, but it's working. And this, the outlet pipe's very hot, and the rest of the coil is nice and cool by the water. So we should see some distillate dripping from here very shortly. So the water now, we can see that it's oil based, so later we'll have to remove the oil from the top of the water. So our little makeshift still is working a treat. We had a leaky valve on the top which we've plugged up with some blue tack. There's a weight there for a safety device. And as you can see, the gas is really low, and the heat's been transferred to the water, which cools down the steam, and we're collecting it in the demijohn. A good tip is to take off the warm water from the top of the washing up bowl, then you can replace it with cold water. See, the hot water always floats to the top. My dogs, you can hear snoring in the background. And we'll replace that with some cold water. Not very high tech, I know, but it does a job. Well, it still is working nicely. You can see the pipe feeding the washing up bowl becomes very hot, and the pipe leaving is actually cold. With the pressure cooker, before using it, make sure that the safety weight is working. There's generally no problem with these, but it's always wise to make sure that it's free. And by using blue tack over the other valve, if there were any pressure build up, it would easily pop off the blue tack. As you can see, the oil is forming nicely on the surface of the water. When you start using the still, it will take a while to fill up the coils. Another safety check you need to make is to actually blow down the tube to make sure that it's free, that you haven't got any kinks in the tube that could actually cause a back pressure in the pressure cooker. The milky looking water below the oil surface will actually make a good air freshener, so it could be used in an atomizer or a spray, or you could add a little to your detergent in the washing machine. Ideal for dogs' bedding. I've just taken a small glass, and you can see the oil forming nicely on the surface. This is a good test to see if you've extracted all of the oil from the lavender. If you test a glass full and there's no oil, it's time to do a new batch. This is the third batch. As you can see, we've just started to distill. At first you get a very high yield of the oil. To extract the oil from the water, what we did was siphoned off from underneath the oil the distillate, or the scented water, into a plastic milk bottle, and what was left we poured into a long narrow necked bottle. This is a cider bottle, a cider vinegar bottle, and as you can see, we have a little bit of sediment. There's the distillate, the scented water below, and that's the oil on the surface.